Squad. Peep Squad is in the building, baby. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. My peeps, my peoples, Peep Squad is in the building. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Power Book 2 Ghost. Let's talk about Season 2, Episode 4. It is going down. So some of the predictions I made last week actually came to fruition, but only thing is it was the different person. Instead of Kane being Monet's son, it's actually Zeke that is Monet's son. I was like, Lord have mercy, what is going to happen in this situation? So Monet has been going with her nephew all this whole time, and basically with the situation, it's not her nephew, it's actually her son. And so this is the reason why you see Mecca, and Mecca's back in the picture, and Mecca is here to stay. So it's going to be crazy on what's going to happen to Kane, and also what's going to happen to, Mr. Braden, because Braden, he's all in the mix of everything. So I wonder what's going to happen in his situation. But in any event, let's get into it. Let's talk about Monet pulling up on Professor Carrie Milgrams, and she basically put the tool to the professor, letting her know, hey, listen, girl, you better make sure that Zeke does not go to jail. You better make sure that the police, the detectives are off his case. He don't get charged in the Jabari's murder. And, Monet was like, you've been messing with my nephew when it's actually her son. And so she must that's probably why she was really feeling a certain type of way when it came to the professor, because the professor was sleeping with her son, and she's grown. She's a grown woman, and she's one of his advisors. And so, so she pulled up on her, baby. I was like, oh, and this is what leads Professor Milgrams to actually go, and say, look into Jabari's book, look into his journals, look into what he was investigating. And that is definitely going to lead right on to Tariq. Lord have mercy. So it's getting hot. And I was like, they're really doing a good job having these wonderful professional actresses and actors. I mean, like, they are killing it this season. But only thing with Milgrams, which is kind of like getting to me, is now you're seeing that she is sneaky. Now, before I was like, oh my God, Carrie is playing with the wolves, and actually Carrie is a wolf. She used her feminine power to get what she wants. And, she's very into the Kama Sutra to make sure you go all the way with her and she can have control. And this is why you see Detective Kevin having a fit and want to bring her down, because it's personal, and how she has control over men. And at the same time, she's definitely going to use Councilman Tate to get to where she wants to get as far as protection. And she's already playing the game too as well. So Stern knew what he was doing. But in any event, let's get down to the situation where you have attorney MacLean, aka Mr. Davis, aka Method Man. Basically, he's sitting up in his office and he is looking at the McLaren, he's looking at the Porsche, he's looking at all these cars, because he's using Tariq. Is Tariq his only client? It's like he is using Tariq so much and so bad. And you got Sax. Sax is still acting like he's on the good side. Sax know he is dirty, just like MacLean, just like Davis. But in any event, did Tariq speak too soon when Tariq basically said, I'm going to need you guys' help? So Tariq, he walks up into, Davis, law firm, and basically said, I'm going to need you guys to protect Zeke. I'm going to need you guys to help Zeke for real, because, they're trying to charge him with Professor Jabari's murder. And they're trying to plant it on him when he's innocent, because there was an NYPD detective gun, Ramirez, found on the scene, and they're not saying anything about it. And Sachs is like, how you know about that? And then Davis is basically saying he said not to ask him about it. So did Tariq speak too soon when he actually said this? Because now with this situation going on, Davis used the situation against Zeke. So so when Tariq went over there and told them what he needed them to do, and he also says Monet would pay the money, and that's all Davis wants to hear. But at the same time, Davis used that against, Tariq, basically setting up Zeke, when Zeke went to go talk to Jamil Hill about, his prospects and going to the NBA, and that he's innocent. And so I believe Method Man went to Jamil Hill and gave her the information about Zeke, the gun, the PBA car, and set Zeke up because he still needs Zeke as a client. He done already got $1 million from Monet. He's gonna get the money from Monet, so therefore he don't want him to be innocent, but at the same time he wants to keep him as a client. So he set up Zeke, and it was all laid in his hands once Drew attacked the guy outside of his home. But in any event, when it comes down to this situation, there's something deeper going on, because when it comes to Davis wants to get his brother Theodore out of jail, which is Method Man. And so he's going to have to pin something on somebody. So killing an NYPD, detective, and then a professor. And if you can put it on, antibody, especially if you can put it on Professor Milgram's, but that's not really a big wig name. But Braden helped dig up Jabari's body with Kane. So that's the situation as well. So we're going to see who, Davis actually burned, because he's really trying to get his brother out of prison, because his brother is in prison for manslaughter, for murder, which is AKA Redman. So let's see how this situation pans out. But in any event, Tariq is, they're taking Tariq's money. Tariq knows that. But at the same time, Tariq's let them know that he needs to keep Zeke out of jail and keep him in college, keep him at Stanford, because if he doesn't, he's going to get kicked out. Then Tariq can't get the money that his father left for him, and then the business that he got going on with Simon Stern. So this is getting very interesting, for real. And then now we get down to the situation where you have the president over there at Stanford, or whoever is sitting there at the desk. Then you have Simon Stern there, and you have, Carrie and Councilman Tate, and you have Kevin there. And basically, as I was saying before, Simon Stern sent Tate there to basically clean up the canonical study situation and make sure that Tariq is all right, because Tariq needs help getting his sister out of, foster care or group home situation. And Tate has expertise in family court, and he has political influence because he's still a councilman any day of the week. And also Simon Stern is trying to protect his canonical studies program, which, he wants Tariq to benefit, he wants Zeke to benefit, but also I was thinking about Simon Stern when it comes to Zeke. Why does he care so much about whether Zeke, wins? But it's good for them to have a good basketball team. And I also thought that Zeke, not Zeke, but Monet's husband Lorenzo was actually cool with Simon. But now looking at the picture that Mecca is actually Zeke's father, Mecca, aka Dante, might be cool with Simon Stern because he was in Kuwait. He does import, export, and he's really like a brilliant guy. He's the next thing that goes other than Tariq on the show. But we got Kane getting there too, because Kane is being very, intelligent. Kane is being very smart in the situation. Hey, what's up, Gucci? How you doing? What, Justin T, please, what's going on? Hey, what's up, sexy lady D Jordan? What's going on? So, with this situation happening, now they're having to sit down, because basically Simon Stern always wanted that the police influence the police out of, Stanford. He didn't want them questioning the students. And then we have Professor Milgram's open the door and basically says Jabari was doing some type of, book, and he was questioning students, and there was a gang member killed from GGD or something like that. And let's start there. There's a pipeline, and the pipeline actually leads back to Tariq and, Braden, and also Simon Stern's boyfriend, Bash, which is the person that created the app. So in any event, it looks like Tate can get what he wants by bringing down the Westons and also bringing down Rick Sweeney. But at the same time, Tate wants a piece of Professor Milgram because she is zoos that she can satisfy you, baby. So that is the situation. And we got Kevin, Detective Kevin. It seems like he wants to be there for all good, but they're going to move him out the way. And it seems like Tate's brother that basically got into the DA's office as a investigator is going to push him out the way, because Kevin is kind of helping Tariq by basically saying that it's Zeke and it's Professor Milgrams that killed Jabari. So therefore, he's not looking this way, that way, nowhere else but that way. And so that kind of helps Tariq, because we know Kane and Tariq killed Jabari, and they planted Ramirez's gun on, Jabari, when they took him out. So in any event, Simon Stern is feeling a certain type of way. So he takes Professor Milgram's position, being a liaison with the police, and basically take that position where he's dealing with the investigation, so he can know what's going on, so he can basically report back to, Simon. So Simon Stern. So this is getting interesting. Like, they're building up the plot, they're building up the situation. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just loving this season. Last season I didn't like it, but this season I definitely do love this show, and I love all these actors. They are doing an amazing job, and just to see the old school actors with the new school actors is just amazing. And Simon Stern, I remember him all the way back from Law and Order, you know what I mean? So in any event, so we have this situation where they're having the conversation, and now Tate is taking Professor Milgram place, and basically he's going to be working directly with the officers, and he don't want the police there at all. And so Simon Stern basically checks Detective Kevin, because Detective Kevin was like, why am I here? Like, this sounds like an internal situation. And that's when, when it comes to Simon, he says, I'm going to need you to go away, Kevin. And Kevin says, I don't take orders from you. And Simon Stern says, everybody takes orders from me. For real, for real. And he goes, I got a meeting with your commissioner, and I'm going to have a conversation with him. I was like, And then you have Carrie, basically she's talking about the drug pipeline, which is going to lead back to Tariq. And I wonder if we're going to find out who is the master tutorer that actually put the lockers in where the kids can go there and swipe their phone. It's like the honor policy, get what they need, put the cash in. Is that person gonna run off or snitch? Because now there's a third person that's on campus that know what Tariq and Braden are doing on campus. So it's getting interesting about how it's going to all pan out. But somebody gotta die. Who's gonna die? Is it gonna be Lauren? Is it gonna be Kane? Is it going to be Professor Milgram? Because she's kind of like, her role is kind of like outplaying itself, especially if they get rid of, Detective Kevin and signed him to desk duty. But in any event, this is where you see Professor Carrie basically using, the same thing that Tate does, the same thing that Simon does, the banter, and basically, getting herself out of a situation. And she lets Tate know that, yes, Zeke is innocent. Zeke is definitely innocent. And how is Zeke innocent? Because he spent the night with me, baby, the night that Jabari was killed. And then also Tate is saying, but why does Kevin have such a hard on with you? And you guys must have some history. So that's a way to get Detective Kevin out, get him disbarred, or say there's a conflict of issue. And also having Tate's brother, Kamal Tate, working in the DA's office, and particularly working with Jen, on the DA that's actually sleeping with, Sachs. You know what I mean? So it's like a whole lot going on. Everybody back is getting close up to the wall. And Tate, he's like, I don't know. He goes, I want this, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this, And so in any event, so when you have that situation going on, and Tate is basically putting 2 to 2 together, plus he already heard the conversation between Milgrams and Kevin, and he knows something's up. He knows everything, but he don't know how he's going to come into play and help in this situation. And, Tariq is supposed to help Tate, with getting dirt on Rick Sweeney and the Westons. So if the investigation goes towards Tariq, or Tariq can't, do what he needs to do, then that's going to kind of like, stop Tate's plan and what he's doing, but he's going to also find another way. And now you have Professor Carrie basically telling Tate that Zeke is innocent. And if you can prove that an African-American man, star athlete on the, basketball team is innocent, that's definitely going to get your seat, back to, take Richard Sweeney's seat, or get into office and get elected, because she knows what Tate wants. Tate knows what she wants, kinda. She wants the investigation to go away. away. But Milgram's need the investigation to go away quick, fast, in a hurry, because you have Monet putting a tool to her head saying, girl, I'm going to get you, baby. So this is like, okay. And oh my God, the banter is just so great on this show. And just the communication aspect of the actors communicating is just, Tate is like, Kate tells Carrie, Professor Milgram, that there's a connection and you are the connection. You are the issue. And so she tells him, hey, baby, if you can get Zeke off, you're automatically to that spot. So now this gives, Tate two options, to the Tariq option and also helping Zeke. But at the end, he realized that Zeke and Milgram's are in very deep, but this is nothing that Tate hasn't dealt with before. So we're going to see how it pans out, which road Tate is going to go. But one thing is for sure, Simon Stern wants him to make sure Tariq and Milgram's is okay in the situation. But like I said, who is about to die? Who is about to go? So, that's another thing that's kind of interesting. And Monet, I can't believe Monet is Zeke's mother. I thought Kane and Mecca had the child together. I didn't know it was Zeke. And that's why Zeke got lucky to get raised differently. And that's why he respects her so much, because she raised him. But that went on back in the day where, somebody else would take care of your baby when you got pregnant and you was young. So in any event, so we have that situation. I'm just like, it's getting hot. And so this is where, the Davis is so shady and so low down. Lord have mercy. These grown men and these shady guys. And, they have used, ghosts. And now they're trying to use Tariq when it comes to Simon Stern, when it comes to Tate, and when it comes to, Davis as well. It's like Tariq inherits his father's enemies for good and for bad as well, because Simon Stern is very useful. Tariq and Simon Stern relationship are very useful to each other. And so is the one with Tate, and also with Method Man, aka Davis. But Method Man has a motive. He has an ulterior motive with the situation where he needs to pin something on somebody to get his brother out of jail. And now he meets up with Monet, and he's telling Monet, I'm going to need $1 million to represent your son, Blase the third. And she goes into the safe and she can't find the money. She don't know where the money is. Like, everybody's doing crap to Monet. Monet don't test the drugs. Monet don't try to find out who stole the drugs. She don't really try to find out anything. It's just like she lost. She just wants to get out of the game. And now she has an out when it comes to Mecca. But is she really going to take that out? It seems like she will, but we shall see. But in any event, who took the money out the safe? In my opinion, she was having, contractors work on her bar. And so they believe it was the contractors. But I believe Mecca took the money so he can help Monet, so he can tell Monet he can save her. I don't know if he knew that. He probably put 2 to 2 together, because when it comes to Mecca has worked in Kuwait. He's been in the military. He's been in the armed forces, import, export. So he has people. He has jets, planes, all the stuff that he owns. So he could probably find out information, and then and stole the money. I don't know. But in any event, we got Kane stealing from his mama and basically having her come back and beg, and actually, get working material from him. But in any event, who took the money? But Monet ain't even focused on the money. So we got Davis, and Davis going to turn around and he want more money from Monet. So that's why he set up Zeke, at the interview with Jamil Hill. So he set that up, and now Monet is rushing with the kids, and we need to get him money. We need $1 million so we can help Zeke defense and Blase in the third. So she tells all the kids to go get Monte, except for, Drew, which Drew raises the more money than antibody for him to keep an eye on Zeke, so Zeke don't get in any more trouble, because Zeke was down at the police station talking about PBA cards and Blase in the third, and that was way too much. But he didn't know that Ramirez was dead. He thought he was still alive. That was a friend of the family. So it's just all blowing up because Monet didn't take the PBA card from Zeke, and Zeke gave it to the police. And Kane murdered Ramirez. So it's a whole lot going on. But in any event, so now you see Tate brother Kamal, and that's his brother in real life. He come through, and basically he's in investigation. You see the lady in the DA's office, Jennifer, she's sleeping with Sachs, and you see Kevin that got a hard on for, Professor Milgram. And so in any event, when it comes to Kamal Tate, he basically believes that Zeke is innocent, and he wants to, do a further investigation, to open up the investigation, because right now Detective Kevin has been blocking the investigation. He only has his eyes on two people. So now we got Kamal that is about to open up the investigation with the pipeline, investigating everything, the connection. So basically the story is going to move on, and somehow it's going to end up back to Tariq. And this is just crazy. But Tariq don't know what's going on. Tariq is, worried about his sister, worried about all that other stuff that he don't see what's happening. And I know Tariq is actually going to find out what happened. I think Braden is going to tell him. But in any event, we see all the pieces stacking up against Tariq, and Tariq is going to come back. And Tariq is going to have to handle business, because Monet's waking up, and because Monet has been asleep, and Tariq has been asleep too. So now we're going to see what Monet is waking up a little bit, not all the way. And also you have Diane. She's waking up too. But we need Tariq to wake up, because they are stacking the chips against him. And did Tariq speak too soon by telling, Sachs and, Davis about the gun being found at Jabari's murder scene? So in any event, it's getting ugly, baby. So Monet's out here trying to get money. She's trying to scrap just more physical, just more mental difficulties on her, and knowing that that's her son that could be facing time in jail. So, it is what it is. And so in any event, when it comes to Kamal Tate, he basically wants to know what's going on. And he basically gets assigned to interview the kids over there at Stanford to find out who's the drug pipeline, who was the other cops interviewing, what did Jabari say. So they're looking for the pipeline. And so Kevin pawns him out on that situation. And they think that he's the enemy because he's related to Councilman Tate. That's his brother. But he's more of the straight and narrow. But in any event, Tate will find some way to convince his brother to do the right thing best for Tate. So we shall see. But in any event, Kamal is in the building. He's about to be up at Stanford. Lord have mercy. And then you have Kane. Kane is running wild. Kane is running crazy out here in these streets. And, what he did to Monet, she don't know about it. But at the same time, he doesn't know that he's being used by Mecca. But Mecca is actually treating him like he's an adult, and treating him like he's valuable, and also teaching him something that Monet did not teach Kane. In any event, so, so when Kane meets up with his boss, aka Dante, aka Mecca, and he's basically saying to him, Kane's saying that I need to leave, I need to bounce, I got some things to do and things of that nature. I gotta go. And so he was like, why would you jeopardize your position with me when you're getting in? He was like, because of my cousin Zeke and Blase the third. And so now you got that situation going on. And then Mecca asks, Kane, what's going on with is that your cousin, is that your brother you're trying to help? And he goes, no, that's my brother Zeke that I'm trying to help with his case. And so we're like, okay, so now Mecca's getting that answer from Kane. Okay, so now the family don't know that that's Monet's son. So now he sees and he knows that Zeke is his son. So now they're all trying to get $1 million and get the money. But Mecca is going to pay the $1 million for him to be represented, because that's his son and he got the money like that. And so he tells Kane, I need you to do these two things for me. And the way that Kane does these two things is just so crazy. And he brings, Braden along with him. But Kane has proven to be much smarter. He has proven to have learned from Tariq. He has proven that he's a good contender and he can actually use his brain, and he's not just brawn anymore. So I'm really enjoying that Kane is using his mind. He can't go all the way with his mind because he never really found out who Mecca was. He never watched Mecca, but that's not his stilo. But he's doing very well with that situation. So that's cool. In any event, so moving on from that situation, we have Tariq. Tariq is focused on his sister. His sister's calling him because, she's in DCYF custody. She's in a foster care. She's in a foster home. So, we got that situation going on. So we're going to see what's going to actually happen. But this also has Tariq just really worried because he lost his sister. He lost his mother right now. His grandmother is out here, abusing the sister at the liquor store, picking up 2 gallons of liquor and then pushing the little girl on the floor. The grandma just done lost it. And so this is like keeping all of Tariq's attention because now he has to deal with Tate and trying to get information. And we know he's going to get the information on Rick Sweeney. And that's going to be easy to do because all he has to do is go to the other fraternity and get the picture book and get the fraternity book where they say that they did some secret things back in the day. And also when it comes to Braden's sister said when Tariq was invited over for the holidays, she said, oh my God, you can smell the roof and the book, the roofies in the book. So you can smell it. And so therefore all Tariq got to do is go get the book, and that'll help Councilman Tate. But Councilman Tate might want to take it farther because now, he got a whole lot to prove. And he wants to get in between Milgram's panties, baby. And so we got the situation where you have Kane pretending like he's waiting on Tariq, but he's basically trying to entice Braden and let Braden feel like he's cool. Braden with the street, because Braden is down. Braden like to do whatever the case may be. Like, he don't want to be undercover. He don't want to be on a low. He likes all the attention. And you can hear Kane call him adrenaline junkie. And so he takes, Braden with him to commit these crimes. And Braden's just beasting, but he also always has a get out of jail free card. So we're going to see how this situation pans out, baby. It's going down. I was like, it's getting really, really interesting. And so then we have, when it comes to Sachs, he's talking to the lady in the DA office, Jennifer. And basically, he got the information from Tariq that there was a police officer gun found at the scene of Jabari's murder scene. So therefore, he wanted to make sure Tariq was telling the truth and make sure he had the evidence. And he looks into her bag because, him and her, Jennifer, are getting it on, and he sees the evidence. And this is how they use the evidence against Zeke, when Zeke gets on, the interview with Jamel Hill, and basically keep him as a client because now Zeke is going to get arrested. So then Davis keeps getting his money because he don't want them to ever be found innocent. I mean, he wants to continue to be their lawyer. So if they're found innocent, then he can't be their lawyer, and he's trying to buy a MacLean. He's trying to buy all these cars, baby. It's crazy that's going down. So now we get down to, Tate's brother, which is Kamal Tate. He's basically doing an investigation on, who is the pipeline, who's bringing drugs into the school. And so now he's talking to Tariq. Girl, this is Tariq knew Angela. This is Ghost and Angela relationship. This is Tariq and Angela relationship. Tariq actually chose, Lauren for this situation. And so now she got caught with, some product. And so now they're convincing her to wear wire. And also, what's her name? Carrie, Professor Carrie's convincing her to wear the wire too as well, to wear this. And why would she do that? She knows that she's close to Tariq. Everybody knows, but they're not saying anything. Like when Tariq entered campus, when he got onto the campus, bodies started dropping, drugs came out of nowhere. That's what Simon Stern knows. That's why Simon Stern sent Tate there, because we got somebody killed at the pool. We got Jabari killed. We got these drugs. We got these investigations. None of this was going on before Tariq entered the building, and he know who Tariq is because he knows who Ghost is. So, this is just like really, really, really like awesome in any event. So I'm just like, so we got Kamal. He convinces her to wear a wire, and we already know why, Carrie, assisted her into wearing a wire, because it's gonna ultimately go back to somebody. And Carrie, at this point, she always tried to protect Tariq because she felt for him. And, but at the end of the day, she's about herself. Everybody's about their self at the end of the day when it comes down to it. It's protect yourself. It's protect you. And that's it. Hey, what's up, Johnny? Hey, what's up, Chef Disaster 3.0? Hey, Tamika, what's going on? What's up? Mary got some strong jeans for Kane to come out looking like a I I can't even say the rest, girl. You I can't even say the rest. So hey, what's up? And so now you got this situation going on, and she puts on the wire. I'm just like, damn. So she puts it on, so it's gonna lead back to Tariq, and that's where Tariq is gonna have to put his A game on to play chess, because Tariq has been too busy with his sister, and everything's packing up against them. And Kane is outsmarting Tariq for right now, as we can see, but it's because Tariq is not putting his brain into the situation. So now you got Kane, and you have Brayden, basically, just committed a B&E and took the material and bounced. His car, got all shot up. Tariq don't know what's going on with his boy. Usually Tariq knows everything, knows every chess move, but at the end of the day, Tariq is by himself. But I don't know if Kane wants to set up Tariq, you know what I mean? Because he feels like Tariq is setting up Zeke to go down for it when Professor Milgram. But at the same time, if you move Tariq out the way, maybe Brayden can take over Tariq's spot. And so maybe that's what Kane ultimately wants to do. Because now you got Tariq and you have, Brayden and blood letters, they got a business together where, Brayden is the president. Brayden know who Bashful B is. And so getting close to Brayden, and if you move Tariq, because he can't control Tariq, because Tariq will outsmart him any day of the week. You know what I mean? But Tariq is just, his brain is cloudy right now. He's somewhere in La La Land, and he's thinking everything's all good in the hood, but it's not. But Brayden can definitely take Tariq's spot, but Tariq can't disappear because this is Tariq's show. So if Tariq is gone, the show is over. So another thing would be if Kane tries to place the blame on Brayden, and then Brayden get that get out of jail free card where all the charges are thrown away. But it'll also, the information in the pipeline is going to go down to Tate, and it's going to go down to, Davis. So we're going to see what Kane is actually trying to set up Tariq, but we'll see if that happens. But it also seems like Kane might disappear from the show because, is Kane going to be useful or no? Because Tejada, he's going to get out of jail. We already know he's getting out of jail. Sachs is working on his case. But once he finds out that Mecca used him, is he going to be close to Mecca? Or if all, Monet's children going to go against her because she lied to them and Zeke is actually her son. And she wants to get out the game, and she wanted to leave Tejada Lorenzo behind and basically, eat off Zeke, which is her son. And she didn't ask them what they wanted to do with their life. But will Monet let her kids go now that she's with Mecca? Or would she feel played by Mecca? So would there be a war all the way around? But right now, it seems like Kane and Mecca are coming for Tariq, and Tariq needs some allies. He need Tommy to come through. He need 2-Bit, or he's going to end up hooking up with Lorenzo and talking to Lorenzo, because everything's going to hit the fan. And in any event, I don't know what's going to happen with Brayden, because Brayden's out here in these streets strong, and he's not wearing a ski mask and things of that nature. But we know Brayden is not a snitch. So in any event, we have Monet. She meets up with Lorenzo, her husband, and basically she's trying to tell him, hey, listen, I want to put our house up, for Zeke, so we can get him this attorney because it's $1 million. And Lorenzo says, well, use the money that's in the club. The money's gone. We don't know who stole it. Did Tariq steal it? Because he got to get an apartment, and Blase in the third. Did Mecca steal it so Monet can run to him and he can be a hero to her? Because right now it seems like, she's tired of Lorenzo. She's tired of meeting up with him. She's tired of their anniversary. She's tired of not having a partner. She's tired of people testing her. She's tired of people lying to her. She's tired of everything. And what the problem is everybody's lying to each other. Tariq lied to Monet, and Kane is lying to Tariq and Monet, and so, and that's the problem. The lies, like, they don't know what each other's doing. So this is why everything is falling apart right now. So this is crazy. So in any event, Tejada says no. He said, it's not, I know you love your nephew and everything, but it's for our children. We find out that Zeke is her child, so therefore she wants to help her son. But he don't know that. And then the baby father is back in the picture, and he's back in the picture with everything that she desired, everything that she wanted from Lorenzo, but she couldn't get because he's locked up behind bars and he don't got no power like, Mecca does. Mecca's fine too. I ain't gonna even front with y'all. And so we have this situation, so Lorenzo says no. So now we have Drew. So Drew's basically trying to make some money, and he comes up with a good idea, basically getting a GoFundMe for Zeke and raising some money, because they're still trying to raise money for this lawyer, but they don't know that Mecca came through and paid the bill, baby. And so, so he got the basketball team to go on strike or forfeit one game, but also he goes back to his boyfriend Everest. And when it comes down to that situation, his boyfriend tells him, hey, listen, the professor came by and they asked me some questions, and I told him about that night that Zeke got jumped, you got shot, blase and the third, and Drew was very upset. So with that little bit of information, I don't know if that's actually going to come back and get, Drew and connect him and connect the Tejadas with Tariq, with, Morires, and who else? Who else would it connect to? Back to, Monet. And I believe I'm not councilman, but Kamal Tate is going to connect all the pictures, because all you got to do is just do a little bit of police work, but we don't know if they actually want to take that angle with the situation. So we don't know if his relationship with Everest is going to be affected at all when they ask his boyfriend more questions, because I guarantee they might gonna ask him more questions. We'll see how much notes and how much information did Professor Milgram leave around for them to use, because if I was Professor Milgram, I'd be taking some of his information. They wouldn't get all of it because she had access to all the documentations before then, but we shall see. So we got the basketball team, supporting Zeke, so that's a good situation. And then now I told you guys that I believe that when it comes to Diane and when it comes to Effie, that they're going to end up in a relationship. As we know, Diane is a virgin, and Effie is warning Diane that Tariq is nobody to mess with. Tariq is nobody to play with. At the end of the day, it's always for herself, and everybody's for their self. And Effie lets you know, because she ended up burning Tariq first. When it was over there at the other campus, she burned Tariq first because she knew Tariq was going to burn her. So she knows who Tariq is. She knows exactly who Tariq is, and she's warning Diane. And plus, Diane already asked Effie for help to, help her juggle the streets and school at the same time. And right now, they're basically committing a scam. They're scamming right now to get money to raise for Zeke. And so the way that they look at each other, and the way that Effie is saying that, you want your first to be special, blah, blah, blah. And then, Diane is looking up. It almost seems like they are going to hook up. So I believe that these two are going to hook up. My prediction is they're going to hook up and have a relationship. But what I don't know, I believe Diane, she is going to choose, her father's side, because she's trying to get her father out of jail. And then also we're trying to get Lorenzo out of jail. Get him out of jail, when she finds out that Zeke is actually her brother and Monet's lying. And she's already mad at Monet because Monet is trying to cut Tejada out of the business by moving from city to city, coast to coast with Zeke whenever he makes it. So in any event, and she already went to go visit her father, and she seems like she's more closer to her father because she can't get exactly that reinsurance and that support that the other side of support that she needs, is just basically being controlled by Monet. And so I believe that when it comes down to it, she's going to choose her father's side. And I believe her father, when he gets out of jail, he's probably going to be protection for Tariq, because you got Kane and Mecca basically building up a play against him. And so it's going to be on and popping. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And so then moving on from that situation, we get to, Monet's house. We got Zeke. He's outside. He's being asked questions by a reporter. And then Drew comes in and beat up the reporter. OMG. And that leads the door to where Zeke has to do an interview. And it's all going to go bad from here. Lord have mercy. Like, OMG. Like, Oh man, so I'm like, Drew, why'd you beat up the reporter? Drew, why you do that? Drew, that was a bad move. So Drew did it. And so now you have Davis, aka Method Man, he comes through and he was like, well, listen, they won't press any charges on Drew. Drew won't get arrested and it won't make headlines. But what they want, because the guy that you hit is, he works for a sports center or a sports, media network. So therefore they would throw all the charges out if they can get an interview from none other than Zeke. I'm like, damn. And everybody's like, oh, and it's like, damn, because Zeke's job was only to play basketball and not be smart. And so now when it comes down to this situation, Method Man, this is where Method Man sets up Zeke and he sets up the Tejadas. And by that, he tells them about the PBA card. He tells Jamel Hill about the PBA card and about the murder weapon and also catching Zeke in a lie, which is just like crazy. But also we get back to this point where, Braden and Tariq are very close and they are very tight with each other. And you can see Braden warning Tariq, like, yo, since you and Lauren are all booed up, maybe you guys need to stay with each other. Maybe you guys need to do that with each other in her room and blah, blah, blah. The same thing Tariq told Braden when he was dating Sack's niece, like, keep her away, keep her from everything. So their intimate other or significant other won't find out what they're doing. So it makes you think that maybe, Lauren, she might be back and forth. She might have Tariq's back and she might not, but it seemed like Lauren is going to have his back. But also it's foreshadowing that there might be an issue with a female, and the female will be Lauren so far. And so now we have Braden going on a robbery. Now they're going to rob, a jewelry store to get money for Zeke. But in any event, we got Braden put up his credit card. Now I can't, that's actually Braden's name on the credit card, but the guy that he beat up, is he going to remember, or since he got knocked out in the head with a gun that jammed? And also Kane was very smart and jamming the gun that Braden had, because Braden was going to, take out the clerk. And so, I thought that you could see how Kane is improving, how Kane is getting very, very, very much smarter. Not Kane, but Braden. Yeah, Kane getting very, very much smarter by doing that. But also, is this going to come back on Braden? Because Braden went into the store with no mask on. But sometimes they show you these things and nothing happens of it. But it's something to keep your eye out on this situation. And so they hit up the jewelry store, and Kane is wilding though with all this going on, with all this happening. Kane is actually wilding in the situation. So they got the evidence. Got the evidence that, hey, listen, Zeke was over there near Professor Milgram, aka Carrie's house. So therefore, he had nothing to do with Jabari's murder. So now this is where Kevin, detective, is going to be moving out, but he still believes that is Zeke. And so in any event, so now we get to the situation. They have to have the interview. Tariq has to make sure that he goes over the questions. You got Method Man talking about, I got all the questions and all the answers that Jamel Hill is going to ask Zeke. And then Tariq said, I'm going to help him with that situation. But and also with that happening, Method Man set this whole thing up. So it's just grimy because he wants to get to the money. So the interview goes terribly wrong. Jamel Hill, she basically plays her role, and she embraced the role of being messy and being shady and asking him about the PBA card and saying that the detective went to his games, and she said, oh no, the police department did a research and our people did a research, and detective never went to go visit your game. So how did you have his PBA card? And all that other stuff. And then you have Zeke saying, I don't know who he is. And so basically now Zeke is about to get arrested, and David set all the situation up for this to happen, because how did Jamel Hill get the information? She got it from his attorney, which is Davis. So I'm just like, Lord, they set him up lovely. So Davis is so good. He set him up lovely. They don't care. It's about that money. Costumes, everything around me. Cream at the money. A dollar bill. Y'all set him up. Because Method Man is trying to get that McLaren. He's trying to get the Porsche. He's trying to get all that. Tariq is his best client. Now he has Monet family. He has Diana as a client now. Trying to get Lorenzo off, and he just got $1 million. So he don't want them to be he don't want them to to actually not need his services. He needs for them to need his services. And so they're watching the interview, and as you can see, Lauren, she has on the watch. She has on the wire. The wire's in the Rolex. Tariq, he noticed the Rolex and everything. He's looking, but he's not really focusing on the people around him because he's focusing on his sister. So he sees the interview with Zeke, and he already knows it's already messed up because he can't get kicked out of school. But also when it comes to Lauren, when it was in a canonical study class, Lauren says she doesn't know whether she can go all the way, with her partner if they ends justify the means, But Tariq asked her, what about if it was a life and death situation? Would the means justify the ends? And she said, I would have to be put in that situation. And so so Tariq says, I know Zeke is innocent. I know he is innocent for a fact. And he rushes out the room, but she still has on the watch. So, Kamal Tate is going to question, Tariq. That's inevitable for that to happen. But is Kamal Tate going to remember that his brother, Councilman Tate, was talking to Tariq when Kamal was retiring from the police department and going into work as a DA investigator? Is he going to remember Tariq? So we shall see. So in any event, she has on a watch, but when she gets alone with Tariq, she takes it off. So we shall see. And she doesn't tell Tariq what she's actually doing. And I'm surprised. I wonder if she's going to tell him that she's carrying a wire on her. And so in any event, as Councilman Tate and Carrie are watching an interview with Zeke, and everybody's very disappointed in Zeke, but there's nothing they can do about Zeke. Zeke wasn't taught to be the smart person. He wasn't taught to use his mind. He was only taught to be physically on the court. So in any event, Tate sees the interview with Jamel Hill, and basically he was like, I don't know if I can help Zeke. I don't even know if I can even help you when it comes to Professor Milgram, but we know that's not the case. He's enticing her, and he's saying it's hard, but he's been through worse. So in any event, he can handle this situation, but he's letting her know it's going to be a little difficult. And I want some of that Kama Sutra, baby, and so many different words. And she's telling him, if you can get Zeke off, baby, look how big this case is. You can get that office. You can get reelected, whatever you want to get reelected for. And so now, Kane tries to run off, and he tries to disappear after, basically, Davis tells Zeke that, the police want you to turn yourself in, tomorrow. And so Kane is trying to run from the situation because he knows it's his fault. So no, Monet comes down. Monet's waking up. Monet stops him dead in his tracks, and she tells him, yo, listen, what's going on? What's happening? Like, tell me the story. So Kane finally tells her that, Tariq told him to plant the gun on Jabari because Tariq took the kill shot on Jabari, and he was following Tariq because he heard Tariq mention Jabari mentioned Drew's name, and so that he took a shot. Tariq took the kill shot and was supposed to do this and do that, blase in the third with that situation, and now it's going all array. And right now, the police department believe that Zeke hired, the former LAPD detective Ramirez, to kill Jabari because Jabari was sleeping with Milgrams and Milgrams was sleeping, with Zeke. And so in any event, so they think that Ramirez is actually the murderer, and he was a murderer for hire. And so now Monet is saying, look, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, Kane, but you need to go get Marira's body and you need to dig it up and bring it, because DNA and, forensics, they would show that he was dead way before Jabari was killed and his gun was planted at the scene. And then Kane said, what about if it comes back on me? She said, well, that's the life that you chose. That's what you wanted. You killed the officer. You took him out when you didn't have a right to kill him. And then you got caught up with this Jabari situation. And he was like, what about Tariq? What you going to say to Tariq? Because Kane is very jealous of Tariq, but Monet made it that way. She let Tariq come in and she put Tariq on a pedestal and she put him down to the side. But it's not because he didn't want to be as smart as Tariq. As you can see, Kane is developing as an actor, being smart when it comes to, dealing with Mecca. And he's playing the game that Tariq is playing, because Tariq gave him a little bit of insight. But this season, Kane is still in his full-fledged hatred against, Tariq. So in any event, she said, dig up the body. And so once they find the body, they find Marira's body, they're going to know that he had nothing to do with. So Zeke would be found innocent, or they're not going to have the evidence against Zeke at this time. They're going to probably still go towards Milgram's, but then they're going to start the investigation. That's where, Kamal Tate is going to come in. So in any event, he go get the body. Monet ain't playing with him. And then Davis text Monet, was like, yo, listen, you paid the bill that fast? Yeah, that was, Mecca. Mecca fine ass paying the bill. And so now you have Mecca on the phone with Kane, and basically Kane saying, yo, I got to do something real quick and I'm bouncing. And Mecca was like, no, you can't bounce. What you need to do is plant the evidence, or plant somebody else that you want to take the fall for the situation at the same time. I don't know what Mecca is going to do with Kane. I don't know if Mecca is going to keep Kane under his wing once him and Monet come full-fledged, or is he going to have to take out Kane? Or is Kane going to turn on Mecca when his father Lorenzo get out of jail? So that's a whole lot going on with that situation. So we shall see. But in any event, this is where, Mecca, he comes in and he's advising, Kane not to run, put it on somebody, so, that'll be the situation. So that should be interesting. So I can't wait to see how that is going to, pan out. So I'm just like, so this is going to be interesting, baby. It's getting, so, they find the body, they find the detective's body, they got his, badge and everything, or his ID. And so this is getting crazy. So now we got Kane. After he digs up Marira's body and he used Braden to go with him. I don't know if it's going to fall back on Braden, but he plants the badge on somebody, and it's in Braden and Tariq's room, so it can go either way. So we're gonna see how this is gonna pan out, but they're gonna look at Tariq first. You already know that. So he plants the badge in Tariq's room, basically to set Tariq up for the murder. So we shall see if that's actually going to come to fruition. And then we have Lauren. She's getting ready to get freaky with her man Tariq, and she takes off the watch. So it seems like she got his back a little bit, but we shall see. She needs to tell him. And then Tariq is arguing with his grandmother. She goes, I'll see you in court. Tariq is fighting his grandmother. She's drunk. She's crazy. She's wild. She's everything. And so, that's a whole nother situation. And he's just lost. Milgram's is doing her thing. For real. And then when it comes to Drew messed up by beating up that guy, so he's at fault. But you don't see Monet yelling and screaming and cussing him out. It's like she's always going so hard on Kane, and this is why Kane is doing the crap that he can, because the crap that he is doing, because he just wants to be accepted by Monet, and Monet stop blaming him for things. And then it's just like one of them situations. It's a rivalry between brothers and sisters, but it's really a rivalry between Kane and Tariq, because Tariq came in and took over. And so Mecca basically was like, yo, it's our son, Zeke is our son, baby. I paid the $1 million. And look at Monet, like her face is just like, I need you, baby. I need you. And then they kiss. So, but is Monet gonna be upset that Mecca used Kane and all these different situations? You know what I mean? Once she finds out, because she's going to find out, her and Tariq are going to find out that they were being gamed and being played by Mecca and Kane, throughout these situations. But how are they going to react? Is Mecca going to hook up with Tariq, or is Tariq gonna hook up with Tejada? Because at this point, Tariq does need some protection. You know, he does have a little bit of protection over that Stanfield, but he needs some street protection. So we shall see. And what is Kane? Is Kane? I know somebody gotta die, but who's gonna die? Is it gonna be Kane? Is it gonna be Professor Milgrams? Is it gonna be Lauren? Is it gonna be Kevin? Who gonna die? Somebody got to die, baby. So we shall see how this all pans out. I'm like, Lord have mercy. So in any event, that is the situation. That is the show. Power Book 2 Ghost. I just can't wait. But they are dirty. They are playing very dirty. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. Much love to my peeps and my peoples. Peep Squad is in the building, baby. Much love, y'all.